The snow keeps falling. The whole city looks buried under a thick shroud of ice. Barely a living soul remains on the streets. Only the infected drift slowly through the snow, their movements stiffer than they were last night, but their hearing seems sharper. A car alarm suddenly blares. Within 10 seconds, over a dozen dark shapes nearby all turn their heads at once, converging toward the source of the sound. I watch this unfold, my brow tightening slightly. Just like in my memory, creatures infected by the spores in the snow keep evolving. On day 1, they're drawn to loud, sudden noises. Starting on day 3, they grow sensitive to faint sounds and heat sources, becoming far more perceptive. By day 7, mutated variants appear, capable of climbing, capable of ramming through doors. Which means my bunker has exactly 7 days to survive its first real trial, and that trial arrives sooner than expected. At 2 in the afternoon, on the monitor, a crowd appears at the far end of the street outside the mall. Roughly 20 people, men and women, some supporting the wounded, others carrying bags on their backs. They must have made their way here from an underground parking garage in a nearby complex. Their bodies are wrapped in down jackets, quilts, plastic raincoats, even curtains, scarves wound around their faces, with makeshift transparent plastic sheets cut out for eye holes. Even so, frost has already formed thick on their eyebrows and lashes. On a few of them, dark patches have started to spread across the backs of their hands and necks. Not a normal sign. Blood is seeping through the gaps in their wrappings. Walking at the front of the group is none other than Gary. He's still alive somehow. Only now, the look in his eyes is even more unhinged than it was that morning. Beside him, several young men grip metal pipes, wrenches, and fire axes. This isn't a group asking for help. They've come to force the door open. I switch on the outdoor speaker. Stop! My voice carries out through the entrance speaker. The crowd goes still for a moment. Leave. This place isn't taking anyone in. Someone in the crowd immediately breaks down crying. How can you be so heartless? What's the harm in letting us warm up? One person hogging a place this big. Aren't you afraid of karma? Gary seizes the moment, raising his voice. You all heard that, right? He clearly has the space, the supplies, even heating equipment, and he still won't let us in. Talking about private property at a time like this, that's downright inhuman. I watch him quietly. I have to admit, Gary knows how to work a crowd. He knows he can't get in alone, so he ties everyone's fate together with his own. As long as I refuse to open the door, I become the villain in everyone's eyes. Too bad this trick doesn't work on me anymore. I say, first, this mall is mine. Second, this place hasn't finished decontamination for group intake. Third, some of you already have dark patches on your skin. If you force your way in, you'll drag everyone else down with you. Fourth, the louder you get at this door, the more infected you'll draw here. I give directions one more time. 300 meters east, a community clinic. 500 meters north, an underground parking garage. If you want to survive, leave now before they finish gathering. This is the last warning I'm giving. But Gary is clearly not satisfied. He sneers. Don't listen to him, everyone. He's just saying all this to trick us into leaving. He's got a huge stockpile in there for sure. If we all rush the door together, he won't dare keep it shut. Several young men immediately charge forward, swinging metal pipes and fire axes hard against the outer metal gate. Bang, bang, bang. The harsh clang of impact echoes far down the empty street. I give one final warning. Stop smashing the door. The noise will draw the infected here. But Gary acts like he didn't hear a word, shouting even louder. Everyone, shout together. Make him open it. He won't dare watch us die out here. The crowd, whipped into a frenzy, starts chanting, Open the door! Open the door! Open the door! The sound carrying far through the storm. I don't try to reason with them anymore. I just switch camera feeds, scanning both sides of the street. Sure enough, off in the distance, a few wandering infected slowly lift their heads. Then a second, a third, a fifth, more and more dark shapes turning around within the curtain of falling snow. They've heard the noise. Gary keeps shouting, Ethan, if you won't open this door, you're the one killing all of us. I lean back in my chair, watching him calmly. The one who led them here, that's you. The next second, the first dark shape bursts around the street corner. Someone in the crowd screams. The scene erupts into chaos instantly. The men who were smashing the door moments ago drop their tools and bolt. Someone trips and falls, others grab and shove each other, some scream and vanish into the curtain of snow. Gary's face goes white. He turns to flee, but he's barely taken 2 steps before a man grabs him hard by the arm. Gary, you're the one who said we'd get in here. Don't you dare run. Let go of me. You're the idiots who bought into it, not my problem. The moment those words leave his mouth, everyone around him turns pale with fury. But there's no time left for anger. The storm and chaos quickly swallow up the scene outside the door. I sit in the control room, not moving, not opening the door, because I know full well, if I go soft now, I'll be the one who ends up dead. A few minutes later, it goes quiet outside again. The snow keeps falling. Metal pipes, quilts, and a few loose shoes litter the ground. The survivors have already scattered in every direction. Gary is nowhere to be seen. Whether he escaped or was swallowed by the storm, there's no telling. I switch off the outdoor speaker, then zoom in on the entrance camera feed, confirming the outer defenses are undamaged. Good. The bunker has weathered the first wave without a scratch. Just then my phone buzzes again. This time it's not Vivian, it's Derek. Ethan, I know exactly where you are, the underground mall, right? Just wait, we're coming, and soon. So word about the underground mall has already reached Derek. Whether it was Gary who leaked it or Vivian who told him doesn't matter anymore. What matters is they finally set their sights on me. Only this time the door is mine to control, the supplies are mine, and the path to survival is mine too. I slowly type back one line. Come on, I'll be waiting. After sending it, I pull up a map and take a look. The Golden Grand Hotel sits less than a kilometer from the mall as the crow flies. There's even an abandoned underground passage connecting the two. In the old world, that distance would have been a few minutes' drive, but now within that single kilometer there's a raging storm, deadly cold, the infected, and mobs spiraling out of control. Making it here alive won't be easy for them at all. At 3:30 in the afternoon, the perimeter cameras facing the Golden Grand Hotel finally catch a blurry line of figures. The storm is too thick. I can't make out clear details. Along the way, they flicker in and out of camera range at various intersections, vanishing at times into the sheets of falling snow. Derek is leading the group, with Vivian and a handful of mutual friends, all struggling their way toward the underground mall. Their bodies are wrapped in quilts scavenged from the hotel's storeroom, tablecloths, plastic raincoats. Bedsheets and scarves are wound around their faces. Their hands and feet are hastily sealed with plastic wrap, tape, and garbage bags. Even so, every time they reappear on camera, their numbers shrink a little more. Some can't keep walking and are forced to shelter in roadside shops. Others duck into a parking garage and never catch up again. By the time they finally near the underground mall, a group that started with over a dozen has dwindled to just 7. Derek grips Vivian's arm, dragging her along. Her face is pale as paper. She used to care about her image above all else. She'd never leave the house without flawless makeup, would throw a fit if her shoes picked up a speck of dust. But now she's covered in filth and blood, her hair plastered messily across her face, as disheveled as any refugee. I sit in the control room, watching in silence, feeling nothing at all. In my past life, this is exactly how I crawled through the snow step by step. Only back then I braved that storm to find her medicine. This time she's come all this way just to beg me to open a door. Soon, several swaying dark shapes appear behind them. Derek notices immediately, his face shifting, and he picks up the pace. Hurry! The mall's right up ahead. Once we're inside, we're safe. Vivian's lips have already turned blue from the cold. She sobs, Derek, I can't walk anymore. Derek glances back at her, a flicker of impatience crossing his eyes. Do you know what time this is? Stop being so dramatic. Vivian freezes. In the past, Derek was always gentle and attentive around her. He'd hand her water, carry her bags, put on a whole show of understanding devotion in front of me. But now, the apocalypse has barely even started, and his patience is already spent. Vivian finally realizes Derek was never the pillar of support she imagined him to be, but it's already too late. Half an hour later, they finally appear outside the mall's entrance. Derek looks up at the camera, pounding hard against the outer metal door. Ethan, open up, we're here! Vivian lifts her head too, tears spilling down instantly. Ethan, it's me. I know you're in there. Please open the door. I really know I was wrong. I switch on the outdoor speaker. Static crackles, and my voice comes through the speaker. Wrong about what? Vivian, as if grasping a lifeline, rushes to answer. I shouldn't have pressured you about the house. I shouldn't have said those hurtful things. I shouldn't have gotten so close to Derek. Ethan, if you just let me in, I'll listen to everything you say from now on. Derek's expression darkens. Vivian! But she doesn't even glance at him. She just stares fixedly at the camera, tears streaming down her face. If this were my past life, seeing her like this would have melted my heart instantly. But now, I just find it bitterly ironic. I continue. Vivian, if I open this door right now, can you promise you won't take Derek's side? Can you promise you won't join them in forcing me to hand over everything in here? Can you promise that once you're inside, you won't treat this place like it belongs to all of you? Vivian opens her mouth, but nothing comes out. Because deep down she knows, if that door actually opened, her very first thought wouldn't necessarily be gratitude toward me, but how to survive, how to get Derek inside too, how to turn this place into her next crutch. Derek's expression flickers, but he quickly recovers with a cold sneer. Ethan, don't try to drive a wedge between us. There are infected everywhere out here, and you're just sitting in there interrogating us. I look at him. Derek, what you actually want was never a way to survive. It's what's inside this mall. From the moment you found out its location, what you were thinking about was never how to get rescued. It was how to get in, how to take what's here. Derek's face changes completely. He drops the act, bends down, and picks up a rock, slamming it hard against the camera's protective casing. A loud crack. The casing just shudders, not even a scratch on it. Ethan, stop playing mind games in there. I'm telling you, if you don't open this door today, once I get in, none of this will necessarily be yours anymore. Vivian's face goes white. She finally understands. Derek was never asking me to save their lives. He wants to force his way in and take everything inside the mall. And she's nothing more than the bargaining chip Derek's using to make me open the door. She quickly steps back, staring at him. Derek, didn't you say we were just supposed to get Ethan to save us? Derek whips his head around, every trace of gentleness gone from his face. Do you actually think this is the time to believe begging alone would get that door open? Vivian freezes. Derek gives a cold laugh. If you hadn't told me Ethan was soft-hearted, and that he'd always do whatever you said, you think I would have risked bringing you along? You think I've been looking out for you this whole way for no